I want to talk about cryptocurrencies, but for local use. You've all heard of cryptocurrencies. Has anybody not heard of cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin? Okay, awesome. First, I am going to go over really quickly what cryptocurrencies are, and then I'm going to talk about how it can be used locally. So you can see here, my plan is to talk about first tickets, and then signatures and claims. So I'll go ahead and start with cryptocurrencies. What exactly are they? It helps to get lots of different perspectives on it, because every time you hear it, it gets a little bit more solid in your mind. Usually it's something very mysterious to people. So I describe them as digital tokens created by anyone in a network that can be managed by you. So let me break that down a little bit. And I'm going to call these crypto tokens from now on, not just cryptocurrencies, because currency is one way to use them, but digital tokens are useful by themselves. Most digital things, they can be copied. Music, emails, you take a screenshot and you can copy it and send it to somebody else. Those are digital items, files. Now, crypto tokens are created by anyone in a network, meaning they are cryptocurrencies. You've heard, for example, things that Fortnite assets, swords and things like that. Those are generated by somebody else that you can win and buy, but you didn't create them. Somebody else created them. PayPal accounts, Facebook likes. Those are all things that are managed by somebody else, some other company. But cryptocurrencies are generated by you when you join that network. And they can be managed directly by you. So these Fortnite assets or the PayPal accounts, you're depending on their servers to manage it all. But cryptocurrencies are something where you install it on your phone or on your computer, and then you totally control it. And it's maybe mysterious how that works, but that's the way it is. You have the keys to transfer those, and they're all yours. So you've heard cryptocurrencies are worth a lot of money, and that's why everybody's so interested in them. Well, I'm here to tell you that there's a lot of people that are using Bitcoin, and it's useful worldwide for exchanging because there's a limited number of them, but it's all driven by speculation right now. People are just guessing how much it's going to be in decades in the future. I wouldn't recommend it for an investment. I am still buying some of my own because I think long-term it's very useful, but I'm not here to talk about that. So what are the local uses that we could use cryptocurrency for? First, tickets. You can create your own tokens to represent things. For example, the Bountiful Farmers Market has IHC that goes and has produce bucks that they give out to kids so that they can go to other booths and just get some free vegetables, just to kind of get them learning the process. These would help you do it digitally. You could create your own, and then kids would have to have phones, but then that's right, they've all got them. So that's a token that they would have. And once I give a kid some produce bucks, if I generated them, they would have them, and I couldn't just grab out and take them back. It would be all up to them. So I think that's an interesting use. You notice a semblance to the US dollars that are just created out of thin air. That's the same thing. Digital tokens are created out of thin air. So we can issue as many or as few as you want. There's different platforms for different uses. You can give them out, but then you don't get them back. Just like if you give them to me, they're mine to hold, and I have control of them, and you can't just take them away from me. It's most interesting when you do this inside a group. So if we have, say, the farmer's market that has some tokens that you're, or maybe, like he said, our voluntarist group, if we wanted to have some kind of credits between us, or some of the local, Bountiful Food Pantry has something that they want to, assign to users, maybe for giving of their time. It's a group just locally can have their own currencies. There's things called timeshares or Berkeley shares that they use back east just to trade hours that they spend doing volunteer work. And it's useful as that token. We created our own token for Ignite events for people who help out at these. So that's one way to use it. Another way now is verifying signatures. So Bitcoin is based on cryptography, and I'm just going to say cryptography is math for secrets. It's just mathematics that underpins sharing things, but only sharing part of it, or hiding, or locking things so that other people can't get to it. Signatures is a big part of that. And basically, it verifies a message sender. So if I can put out there, here's my public key, and then I can send messages, and all of you can verify that that really did come from me, because I don't share my private part with anybody. It's just the public part, and then you can verify. So that's basically how it works, but you have this already going on. For example, when you visit Amazon.com, you see the little lock in the browser. It's using cryptography because it checks, oh, I know what Amazon's public part is, so now I'm going to verify that really is them. So you use that same technology every day. Now think about how teachers might use this to sign saying, hey, I really did give this grade to this student, and me as a parent, I can go and check, okay, he's not faking that he wrote A on his paper, I can see that signature. Parents can do this, right? We have to sign vouchers or something to authorize our kids to go to plays. This can be a digital thing that's not scribbled that my kid knows how to forge. And then even students together, they take votes for SBO officers, right? So this is one way to make sure that, hey, only the kids who are in the student body can actually vote. So that's how we might use signatures. Claims. Now I'm going to show some claims. For example, Trent earned his PhD, and BYU signs this. That's like using a signature. And so if you wanted to go ask BYU, well, I can show you a diploma, but I could have forged the diploma. If you ask BYU with a crypto signature, that's a lot more secure. My professor might sign a claim that says I finished my homework or my class. That's another just claim. You can see how it's building on these signatures. Now, what I think is fascinating are the network ones. I can say, I own this house, and draw out my house in an area. Doesn't mean much. I mean, it's just me saying I own it, right? Anybody could make that claim. But now what happens when we get my neighbors to go ahead and put their signature saying, yeah, that's true. I agree with that. Now you've got a network of people who are supporting each other. And isn't that really what establishes your property rights in an area anyway? You can see how this may make certain governmental or intermediaries less relevant, because we can go directly to the people who are in an area and find out the truth on the ground. So community support forms the basis of all of that local control, which I think is the most fascinating part. So thank you for your attention. If you want to look up more, look up Ravencoin. That's a great technology. And there's Sovereign, self-sovereign identity with the company Sovereign, S-O-V-R-I-N, that have great work on this, and Ethereum with ERC20s. And I should write that down and put this in my slides. I will publish these on the meetup so that you can find them again. And so thank you very much for your time.